Austin. Well, it's nice to see you again, although I would like it to be in person because, Justin, the last time Windsor's Country saw you, you were the last show at Caesars Windsor before the pandemic hit. You were the last country show.
No kidding.
The very
Wow.
last one, the very last country show we had at Caesars Windsor. And I think you were mad in this picture because you were mad that I wore the pants you wanted to wear. That's
Yeah, I was gonna wear those that night. I had them hanging up in my bus, and I
and
didn't
there
think
I
I could
was.
pull them off like you, so I figured I would just go with the normal blue jeans.
Well, we miss you and we can't wait to have you back at some point. We're gonna get to your new album Stray Dog in just a second, out on May 5th. You're this big country star, so much success, a caring team around you, but your tour bus left you at a truck stop like last week or something, right?
Yeah, it was my fault. So there's a rule if you get off and you don't see your driver or whomever else is on the bus, in order to be able to tell them, you're supposed to leave your tour pass laminate on the driver's seat. We never do that ever. I mean, I haven't done that in 15 years. But I thought my driver saw me get off the bus when he was putting gas in the bus, and he did not. So um, I see the bus pull, and I was doing an interview, a phone interview, and I was standing probably 20 yards in front of the bus, but he turned and went the opposite way, and I'm running after the bus, waving my arms and doing all this, and he didn't see me, and so I thought, well, no big deal, I'll just call him. And I have two drivers on my bus,
And now that driver fired. I'm too big of a country star.
well, yeah, I used to have two drivers. Now I have one. No, I'm kidding. But no, so I started calling both of them, and probably called each of them 20 times. Nobody answered. And so I'm like, well, I guess I'm just here for a while. I didn't have a wallet. I didn't have anything. So, but we call it getting oil spotted. So I got oil spotted. So, but
I love it.
it was all good. He didn't have to backtrack, but about 20, 30 minutes. So,
Oh, okay. No, not bad. So we love Everybody Get Along, Riley Green. We love the song with Priscilla Block, You, Me, and Whiskey. So working with Priscilla, what like youthful thing did she teach you? Because she's very young. Did she like teach you how
yeah.
to do something fun on Instagram, or what'd she teach you how to, a new way to shotgun a beer or something?
Well, she didn't teach me how to do Instagram, but I know shooting the video, and we did a photo shoot together, and
You're ahead of it.
all that. She was constantly doing something. I have no idea what whether it was TikTok or whether, yeah, there you go.
Yes. I
Or
love
whether
your
it was, I don't know what the hell it was, but she was constantly, her and her team are constantly doing something. And but she's great. We've become really good friends, and the youth aspect, it's good for me. I to piggyback off of what you're saying. This is my 16th year to do this, and I think at times you can become jaded, and um, you know, the monotony of every day being the same, every backstage looking the same. And she reminds me a little bit of me when I first came out, 16 years ago. And, to see her, we just wrapped up a spring leg of our tour, and we had her on it. And just to see her go out there and crush it every night on stage, and be excited to pop out there, and just kind of the youthful energy, and her seeing people sing her songs back to her for the first time, and those kind of moments that we've just become accustomed to, thanks to radio and the fans. So we don't take it for granted, but I think at times you just kind of forget like how cool it is, and to see somebody like her who's experiencing it for the first time is pretty neat. So
Yeah, I bet it is. Yeah, because that's I forget when I spoke with her, but she was just fresh, new, and super excited. So Stray
yeah,
Dog,
she's a spitfire too. Now
yes, she is.
she's a trip. She keep
She's
you
a
on
fun
your
girl.
toes, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. So Stray Dog, May 5th. Now it's poignant because truthfully, you didn't stay with the pack in country music, and it's really like an underdog song. So tell me a bit about the creation of the album. Only 8 songs, but we've been waiting for it.
Yeah, I think we're all still trying to, and I've been saying this for 5, 6 years now. I think as far as an industry goes, I think we're still trying to figure out what the best way to put new music out now is. When I first started, it was still you still sold albums, CDs, and you could actually still go gold and platinum and all those things, and it was a big deal, your first week, how many albums you sell and all that. Nowadays, all that's different. I don't even understand it nowadays. I don't pretend to or
Sure.
even try to. But I think our label, mine in particular, has done a really good job of trying to stay ahead of those things. And, we've thought about doing, 30, 40 song albums, and what we determined was let's do 8 or 10 at a time and get it out as frequently as we can, and hopefully it'll become more and more frequent. We're on a year and a half, 2 year pattern right now over the last 2 or 3 albums maybe, and
Well, it's
so
working.
maybe we can do
Just had a
that.
'1, so it's working for you.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been
Congratulations
very
on that.
lucky. We've been
Mhm.
very lucky, but I don't know if there is a right answer or a perfect answer as far as, I know some guys come out and put these, massive albums out with all of this stuff. And, I've already got another album ready to go, and this one's not even out yet. So we could
Wow.
have done that,
Sure.
but this is kind of the path we chose to take, at least for now. You never
Are
know in
you
the
one of
future.
the are you one of the writers on Stray Dog?
I am, yeah. My producer had the title, and
Love
I've
it.
always been in I've always been intrigued by titles, back when you had cassette tapes or CDs or whatever, where you read down the titles list and you go, I wonder what that's about. That always kind of intrigued me, and that's something um I've made somewhat of an emphasis on all of our albums, is to have a song or two like that, and so yeah, we wrote it kind of as it's pretty autobiographical of me and my story, and I've never, when I first started, you know in '07, I didn't set out to be an outlaw or an outlier or whatever, nonconformist, but I've always kind of been dubbed that for whatever reason. I don't guess I play the game like everybody else, maybe, or some other people. And that's not a knock. I am who I am, and I kind of let the chips fall where they may. Like moving back home to Arkansas 13 years ago was highly unpopular with my record label in particular. But it was important to me and my wife that we lived back home, and I've missed out on opportunities, I'm sure, career wise, because I didn't live in Nashville, and back to the outlaw deal and whatever. I people ask me on social media, or they ask me during our podcast, like, man, why ain't you on the CMAs, or why ain't you on the ACMs, or well, hell, they don't ask me. We've been fortunate to sell more records and have more hit records than most people that get to be on there, but they don't ask me to be a part of it. So this is just kind of, and this is not meant to be sour grapes, because I could really care less. It's just that's kind of what the song represents, is kind of all of the above, if you will.
Now, speaking, just before you go, because I know you don't have that much time. Speaking of moving back home and living there and your roots and everything, Miranda Lambert has a cookbook out, and she said that her mom's meatloaf recipe makes people fall in love. So let's just say Justin Moore had a family recipe in a cookbook. What would be like your family's signature dish? So she says her meatloaf is like it's on
Mm.
the ticket. So what if you had a cookbook, the cookbook of Moore? What it be? Because I'm sure you got
Man,
some.
that's a good question. That meatloaf looked good, by the way.
Yeah, I did.
Uh,
Are you like, see, I like a
I just
mushroom
ate
top
breakfast, but
too.
now I'm hungry. What's that?
I like a ketchup top, but I also like a mushroom one too. My mother-in-law's meatloaf is
See,
unbelievable.
see, in the South, where I'm from, it's ketchup. But if you get north of the Mason-Dixon line or whatever, it's like brown gravy, basically, like mushroom gravy. Now, I
Hmm.
like mushroom gravy, don't get me wrong, but it don't belong on meatloaf to me. It's ketchup. But that's a Southern thing. No, let me. That's a good question.
Like, what's the thing that you always
I
make at
love to
Christmas?
cook, but do I make it Christmas?
Yeah, something like that.
You know what we started doing a couple of years ago? My grandmother always cooked for our family, the matriarch of our family, and she was an incredible cook. And she always pork roast was my favorite thing she made, so that would probably go in the cookbook. And I haven't mastered it yet, but we started because she passed away a couple of years ago. We decided, hey, as a family, why don't we do something completely different? Because nobody can cook like Nanny, as hard as we try. And so I started making a whole fillet a couple of years ago, or a couple of them actually, because our family's big. But and I do homemade au gratin potatoes that I've developed a recipe 4 years ago, and they take
Nice.
forever to do. So I only do them like twice a year. One of which is Christmas. So
Get all your kids to start slicing them up in the morning. Get all
yeah,
those
yeah,
kids to
right.
do
Yeah,
them.
there you go. There you go. I got plenty of them.
You do. We are so looking forward to this album. Justin, thank you so much for taking the time. It's always you've built a career, but it's a life with meaning and purpose, not only with your career. You've done that and you've done it with so much poise. So we look forward to coming to Canada when you can. And maybe the next time you go out on tour, like put Uber on your phone just in case they leave you again.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good idea. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time and the kind words. And hopefully, like you said, we'll get up that way soon and be able to play a show.
We'd love it. We'd love it.